hey, this video is for you if you'd like some help on coaching clients to actually implement the changes that you already know. A lot of the times I'm finding that we just get to bring things back to basics, because although we might know really complicated things like drinking bone broth, for example, is amazingly restorative and just so good for your health. And we know that, right? And we can make things into rocket science and get frustrated that the client's not implementing all this beautiful knowledge that we've gone and learnt about. And it could be the most amazing program or the most amazing nutritional changes. However, if you can't get that person to implement it, that's where the coaching magic comes in. So one of the things that I suggest you do is write down a couple of things that you know as a coach would lead to some of the biggest changes in that person's life, and let them select it. Let them choose what 1 or 2 or 3 things they're going to have a go at that week. Then ask them what obstacles are going to come up. So for example, Betty, what obstacles are going to come up, Betty, with you trying to drink more water? If Betty has a thing, she might say, you know what, I often forget. Right, okay, how can we overcome that? Okay, Betty, how about you just put a reminder in your phone? Great idea. There you go, problem solved. Betty puts a reminder in her phone, and then all of a sudden, after about 2 weeks of having the reminder in her phone, she'll get the signal to to be thirsty again. And there you go, you're a miracle worker. And you can do it with any habit, but it's going one level deeper than just telling them, just do this. Because, for example, one of the biggest things I see is we spend a lot of money on courses in our industry, and we might know a lot, but it's getting the person to do it that's the actual magic. So the program and the nutrition might be 20 or 30 steps different to what that person is currently doing. And if that's the case, how do they make that transition? And it's the coaching of that transition that will enable you to be able to get them results. And now, finding out why they can't do stuff is also really important. Another example I had as a client, she told me initially, and she's actually a doctor, she told me initially, don't tell me to eat vegetables. Long story, but anyway, eventually I realized after lots of conversations with her over months was she just actually didn't know how to cook. So I verbally, in one of our sessions, we had a verbal nutrition session, and I was teaching her how to cook, showed her a few YouTube videos as well, sent her a few links. She came back and she'd actually burnt her arms. But that was the thing that she needed to overcome, was the learning to cook. So I'm very tolerant like that. I'm happy to dig one layer under layer under layer under layer. And for you to be a successful coach and get people to be able to change, I so believe that that's something that's a really good bow to add to your list of abilities, because it really helps with people being able to implement change. Is one, find out what it is that they're worried about, why they can't do it, and then just help them overcome it. So how can they get that into their daily or weekly routine, and how can you help them? Sometimes another point that I've done with clients is I've even made them bring their diary to the session, and we will put into their diary, they'll find space in the diary where they can actually shop for the food, and where they've got an hour or 90 minutes or something to cook twice a week, so that they've got, you know, fresh batches of food in the fridge ready to go to take with them. So it really comes down to the implementing of all the changes that you want them to be able to do, and then you'll be a superhero and they will get the changes that they want, which at the end of the day is what we're all here for, is to get them amazing results as fast as possible. You know how to do that, but if they're not one of the 5% of the population that can just follow the templated plan, then you're going to have to help them implement change, and that's where the success as a coach comes in. Good luck.